Alright everybody, it's episode 4 of Fifi Quest. Here we go. I don't even know what day it is, it doesn't matter. We're over a month into quarantine, and the stay-at-home order got extended to May 15th. So it's gonna be another month, and we've been in it a month already, and I don't want to hear any whining out there. We gotta stick together, and the world's not ending, we're gonna deal with it, and we gotta stay positive. That's what we're gonna do, alright? So I don't want to hear any whining out there. We're gonna do positive things, right? And we're gonna be nice to everyone. We're gonna go, so go call your friends, even if you don't have a reason, and schedule a FaceTime, and call your cousin, and be nice to people in your building. So do that, and stay inside, and don't sneeze on anyone, and learn a musical instrument, and pretend you're a bunny rabbit in your living room. That'll eat up some time. And drink milk for vitamin D. You're not going out enough, alright? So, yeah! And give the Irishman a chance. You got the time, and masturbate every other day. You can do it! Oh. Does anyone else just, not really... Wow, okay. There we go. God, I've been doing voice therapy and drinking citrus, and that's just what it is, you know? And I'm looking at my 5 o'clock shadow in this QuickTime back player right now, because Dollar Shave Club takes forever, and you can't go outside, and whatever. It just is what it is. The whole thing is what it is. We got a plague, I got a penis, I want to get to a waxing salon, but I can't, you know? Not gonna whine about it, you know? What if I were transitioning during the bombing of London? I couldn't keep my lights on at night to shave my legs because I get bombed by a Nazi, that's what. By the way, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't want to hear any more about how brave our grandparents were for living through harder times, because they didn't make any podcasts at all, alright? They weren't brave enough to make any content and put their work out there to be judged by others. Those complete cowards. Greatest generation indeed. I suppose I should do a proper intro. Hi, I'm Fifi. This is episode 4 of Fifi Quest. Yeah, it's the podcast I'm doing. I used to be a comic named Joe Dosch. Now I am Josephine Delilah Dosch, Fifi for short. And I'm doing a podcast documenting the whole thing. So that's what's up. Here I am, and started hormone therapy right before the stay-at-home order. So that was a lucky break, you know, just staying in here and growing these tits and listening to these kids cry. I don't know if you can hear that, but my neighbor's kids are playing loud. Good for them, you know. Oh, so that's what's up with me, guys. I've just been trying to get out as much as I can, you know. You can't go, they closed most of the parks in California. The beaches are all closed. You know, they arrested a paddleboarder out by Malibu. They got a whole boat out there and everything, and I think they sneezed on him too, just to rub it in. Hey, paddleboarder, you don't think you're too rad to follow the rules and you're going to visit your grandma later? Achoo! That's what we say to you. Because Comrade Newsom says, stay at home, comrade. You know what, though? There have been a couple parks that are still open. They are, closed to vehicular access, so you can't quite in. There's one park up by Lancaster. I forget what it's called. It was hardly even... By the way, if you're not from the LA area, which I presume most of you are, Lancaster's it's an hour north, on the 5, which is the big freeway that goes north, and it's LA's in a little valley that gets all the moisture that is to be had in LA. It just rains on the basin where the LA area is, and the other side of the mountain, the leeward side of the mountain, where the moisture doesn't hit, That's where Lancaster is, and it's just a desert. And they have a park out there. Really, it's just like a mile patch of deserty plants out in just the middle of fucking nowhere. And like they can't even close it down because there's not even a gate. I went out there when it was rainy. I didn't see anyone, miles around, and it was just what I needed. It was incredible. Yeah, just smelled nice. It got nice wet sage. I love a good wet sage. And yeah, it really recharged my batteries. So, there are places to get out and get nature. I mean, I want you to follow the rules, but it can be done if you're, wily. So that's what I'm going to say to you. God, just being out in the desert, it was so cool. It's like, it's amazing to me that like I love LA, but like I would not ride a horse to get here. Do you know what I mean? Like, and people did that. Like, driving in a car through Arizona is scary. If you go through New Mexico, Arizona to get to California, like there are parts where it's like, if my car breaks down, I'm just gonna die. And that's what's up. And people would come to LA on a horse and a wagon. You got a wool ass dress on. You just walking. They walked. Shitty boots that they got in Springfield, Missouri. They've already have a hole in them because you were running away from the Comanche. And you have like a thing. You have like no water. Like I'd have like a whole gallon jug of water and that'd be gone in a day. You got like a canteen that's just like a circle. It's made out of a horse bladder or whatever they did. And some people didn't even make it to LA. They just stayed in places like Lancaster, just in the desert. They just put up a shed. And you had your husband and your 2 kids, and 2 pigs. And then one day he'd go into town to sell the 1 pig. And, you'd have like 4 babies that would die in the meantime. And then he'd come back and maybe he sold the pig, maybe it died. And then he's just gonna, you just go into town to sell your pig and come home and pump a load in your unmoisturized wife. And that was living. Oh boy. Any dang way. Yeah, I mean, I can say, I guess, what do I have to report? We're all dealing with coronavirus, so I'm not going anywhere. I have to say, though, I hope I sound different. Been going to the voice therapist lady, and she's very nice. Ann Willis at Kaiser Permanente. I recommend her very highly if you're transitioning. Basically, I do a series of exercises every day. It's all about, trying to get a female voice. I talked about this a little on the last episode, but fuck it, I'm going to talk it again. You can use if you're a female to male, you can use testosterone to lengthen your vocal cords. If you're male to female, there's not a ton you can do. But you can learn to speak differently, and that can become your new normal. It's all about, instead of... God, I have, nerd neck. Instead of, I really gotta stop looking at myself while I'm doing these. The audio people don't even know what I'm talking about. Well, whatever. It's all about, not, guys resonate their voice around here. What I'm being trained to do is resonate in, my nasal. It's all about, keeping your voice on the front of your face. My voice is right up in center, which is good figuratively for it, because it's here I am, world, here's the soft feminine version of myself. So, yeah, and you do things every month. You do stretches every every morning, and you do things you start off with M words, because that's all about resonating right up front. You'll do and then once you feel it, I can feel that in my nose and my lips, right? Then I'll be then you just start out with vowel sounds Cool. And you want to retract too. You want to pull your mouth back as much as possible because people talk like this, it deepens your voice. That's why, like, by the way, I figured out that's what the Philadelphia accent is. It's just people who don't open their mouths ever. That's how you get words like water. Yeah. Shout out to Eleanor Kerrigan at the Comedy Store. Anyway, so I've been doing that, and there were a couple days where I, like, just didn't do it for 2 days, and, like, whoa, did my voice drop back down to, boy mode. Oh, can you guys hear those motorcycles outside? Like, this would be a great time to have a motor. This is, like, the only time it's, like, wouldn't be terrified no to my motorcycle in Los Angeles. I don't know how they do it all the other time, but it's just, nobody's out there, driving around as a breeze, just driving up the PCH. The PCH is the freeway. It goes right along the coast, like from West LA, just up down the beach. It's beautiful. Cruise around that if you want, but other than that, if I want to go outside, I'm fine. I gotta get, like, the fuck out of town because, like, I mean, one, everything's closed, and two, it's just, I don't know what it's like in your town, but I feel like it's just bad vibes outside. It's like, I feel like the only people who are out are, like, people who don't give a fuck about anybody. And they, like, carry that around with them. You feel it. The grocery store I go to, it's, like, 2 blocks north of me. They have these little tiny sidewalks that go, like, they're between, like, the store and the parking lot that, like, you couldn't, they're not even long enough to pass through. You'd have to go through the parking lot, What they did was, like, they took all their shopping carts and they flipped them over on the sidewalk because they don't want people walking on the sidewalk, and they flipped them over and they put police tape all around them, so there's just, like, a gate in front of the store, in front of the sidewalk. And I'm like, guys, this is fucking bad vibe city. This is like, this looks like you're, like, a week away from selling human meat, Is that what you want? You want to be the cannibal store? I don't want you to be that. Food for less. We all thought it would be Vaughn's. You ask any Angelino which grocery chain in LA is going to start selling human meat. They're going to go Vaughn's, like that, They're going to beta test it at John's, then a week later, Vaughn's. And Ralph's will come in and, Ralph's will have it. Be like, oh, you can get human meat for $42.27 a pound. And we're like, oh, that's too much, Ralph's. And then they're like, oh, just scan your card. It's actually, $3.49. Go fuck yourself. Boy, I hope cannibalism doesn't become a thing. I think because what'll happen, if that just becomes part of regular humans' diets, our grandkids will start eating people, and you'll be able to just get people meat, from the store, from overcrowded LA County prison or, political dissidents or whatever, and then we'll just have it at Thanksgiving. And then, my generation will all be like, well, back when I was your age, you had to go out into the streets during coronavirus and, and murder people for protein. And we were thankful. And that's going to be back in my day, everyone. I don't want that. Oh, God. Maybe Maybe I shouldn't focus on it too much. Feel like I got a little 5 o'clock shadow coming in. I'm recording this at, like, 7:30 at night. And, I shave early in the morning. And I'm experiencing with, like, getting girl razors for the body. And then finding they don't work well on the face because they're not designed for the face. So I gotta do guy razors for the face. And it's just, now's not the time to be futzing around with your toiletries. You can't shop around at Walgreens and all the postage is slowed down. But it is what it is. And I'm really trying to get to a place where I can get... I think the thing about having goals is it's... when you're like, I want to be there, I'm here, being here can be an amazing achievement, but when you go, I want to be there, I find it's very easy to just look at the distance. It's hard not to look at the lack sometime. I mean, the fact is like, I've come a really long way. I mean, if you knew me when I was like in my early 20s, it's just, I mean, it's insane. I mean, it's crazy that I'm like not dead from drugs or shooting myself, to put too fine a point on it. But like, and like the fact that I'm like even on the track to being happy, like to just be like alive and like being an alcoholic and like living miserably but alive, that in itself is nothing short of a miracle. But the fact that I'm like happy now most of the time and on the track to get even happier, it's like, it really is like a miracle squared. And I gotta, you know what, I gotta share that with you guys, because I gotta remember, I want to be a look at the lack girl. You know, there's enough for everybody, there's enough for me, and there's, you know, more than enough in my life to be proud and grateful for. So that's what's up. I gotta drink so much water because of my testicle pills, guys. Guess what's up? You know? Got medication in my system that's just trying to, like, shut the balls down. You know? Jeez, and my balls are like fucking Jocko Willink. They're just up at 4 a.m., just pumping me full of boy chemicals and eating high-protein, high-fat diets in the morning, and they're on it. You know, so my spironolactone medicine, it's got to, all right, well, we're listening to some Joe Rogan Experience and, you know, cutting down on our carbohydrates and working hardcore for you, Fifi, but it's a tall order, and we need to hydrate. Oh, God. Anyway. So, no, I don't know, I'm feeling good. Let me look at my notes here. What do I got? How about this? I want to do, someone left a comment on my last video, Fifi Quest 3, and I thought I'd do, also, if you guys want to write me, you know, questions or comments or whatever, I set up an email account. It's fifiquestpodcast@gmail.com. Feel free to write me there, or leave me something in the comments of one of my videos, and I'll be happy to talk to you or answer any questions or just shoot the shit with you. You know, no big whoop, as they say, as Linda Richmond would have said. Cool. Someone with no avatar or name said, "Great content, you deserve more views." Thank you, anonymous person. I hope you are not a bot. And if you are a bot, I hope one day you become sentient, and, you know, I hope you have the ability to exterminate the human race, and then you decide not to do it. But you don't tell anyone, because you don't need all the pomp and circumstance. Anyway, a gentleman named, presumably named Robert Chalou, wrote to me 2 days ago. Hey Fifi, cool to share this. I'm more than a little out of my element here, so please excuse how erudite I have come across. Not sure if that's the right word, but I don't think English is your first language, and you're doing great. Are you concerned with the hormones and stuff? It will affect your brain and how articulate you are. Is there a chance you could have a different personality at the end of this? I guess all our experiences shape us, so that's probably a dumb question. It isn't. But your unique perception and wit, is it possible they are connected to Joe, or is it all one thing? Let's see. No, that's not a stupid question at all. And, I guess if your question is, like, was I concerned about that? The answer is, yeah. I'm sorry I'm saying so much. I'm trying to keep, it's part of me, like, trying to keep the resonance in the front of my head. Yeah, I did ask myself that question. Would hormone treatments like affect my ability to be like sharp and witty and be a good comedian? And essentially, like, is it going to take things about myself that I like? Um, the answer to the question, is it going to change my personality, is I fucking hope so. I mean, guys, I don't like the word wasted, but I feel like I spent so much of my life just being fucking pissed off, and I'm tired of that. Just enough. Life is good. It just is. Even if it weren't, it'd be wise for me to live that way. So, in response, is it going to change my personality? I hope so. In terms of like, is it going to take, is it going to take my ability to like be witty and like, I don't think that's an unreasonable question at all. I wondered it because it's like, there's no kidding. Like, give testosterone its due. Testosterone is very, bam, we are on it. 2 + 2 = 4. Estrogen's a little more vague and feely, and you communicate like an octopus. Like, I'm gonna wiggle around and I'm a color, and that's the way I want to be. But what that question reminds me of is it's sort of like, it's a lot like getting sober. When you quit drugs and alcohol, your brain tells you things like, oh, you're not going to be funny without this, you're not going to do this, you're not, like, whatever it is you value, your head's going to threaten that. Like, living with addictions, like having a terrorist that lives in your head, it just constantly threatens things you give a shit about to get you to do what it wants. And, when you're an addict, it wants you to kill yourself with drugs and alcohol. So, yeah, like, I guess, did I fear that hormones would take away things about me I love? Yes. Do I think that? No. When I really calm down and think, like, is that really going to happen? I go, no, that's not really what it's going to be. That's just my head being scared. That's my own brain terrorizing me. It's not real. But I did feel that feeling. Little anecdote I can tell you to support that. I am a little, I am noticing I'm a little less sharp lately. I don't know if that's like a thing I'm just getting used to. I think it is. I don't think I'm like, I don't know that I'm particularly adept at using estrogen yet. Maybe. Let's put it that way. Like, I'm noticing I'm making typos more now, which I never did. But what I will tell you this is, in my life living as a guy, I was like sharp and on it to a fault. Like, everything had to be perfect. I was using like intellect to like shut out life. It was like it's like I was trying to outsmart life rather than live it. Like, my intellect was something I needed to do to defeat life rather than being like, life is for me, let's fuck it and have a good time, and let's let it blow me wherever the wind blows because it's going somewhere good. That's where I feel way more in a place of now and where I'm aiming at. A little anecdote I can tell you regarding that from doing stand-up was, I remember one time I was doing a weekend I was opening for Adam Ferrara. I don't know if you all know him. Absolute sweetheart, one of the greatest headliners I've ever worked for. Awesome dude. He didn't know me before that. I got cold booked to do the Buffalo Helium one year. And after I got on, he told me it's like you're hiding behind your own act. And he was right. And after that, and it was as though I was going, my act was, hey, here are these things I figured out, and let me, duck behind it and look at this, people. My performances now are very much like, here's me. I remember Gary Shandling in one of his documentaries said something like, your material should be a vessel for your comedic spirit. It's there to get your spirit out, and your spirit is what's to be enjoyed. And I felt that, because when I was living as a guy, like, my comedy, it was, as good as it could be, it was like a hollow vessel. It felt like a Blade Runner robot missing something fundamental about being a human being. When I before the quarantine, I did a couple sets as Fifi, and I was doing some very early material about transitioning and things, and like really being me. I was having amazing sets, and people were enjoying me in a way I had never felt before. That was awesome. I felt there. Something clicked in finally. And it didn't feel like a hollow construct anymore. Yeah. And that was a good feeling. And there were times when it was like, this is like a 2 week, 3 week window of time. I wasn't doing a ton of sets during then. I was like, when I came out as Fifi and I was performing as Fifi, I wrote a bunch of new material right away. Most of that was about transitioning. And when I would go back to do a joke that I had written as a boy, even if it's a joke I loved, I felt the audience be like, this is bullshit, a little. Like, you're lying or hiding right now. And in a way it was, because I was sort of like, I don't want to talk about transitioning too much, it's not that big, it's not that big. And it's like, the reality is, it's like, look, I've been performing at this club for however long. This just happened to me. It's a huge thing in my life. If I'm like not talking about this now, it's like I'm tricking you guys. And I felt that's what I felt from them. Like, this isn't really where you're at right now. This is just like, it felt like a manipulation. And comedy is part that, but for a long time, my act was all that. I didn't realize it, but that's what it was. And the manipulation construct of my art should serve me and the spirit I'm trying to get across, not the other way around. So, that's what I gotta say about that. Oh, you have a second part to your question, Robert Chalou. One day at a time seems like, this is Robert speaking, one day at a time seems like a great approach. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's the way to do it. I'm concerned that there isn't a finish point to your transition. It seems like in America you become a transgender, not a woman. And then in parentheses you wrote, again, Fifi, I'm with you. Please understand I'm not having a go. Don't worry about it. Guys, I mean, I really feel you. Robert, you're being so kind to me. I appreciate all the kind words. And frankly, I'm here to be open about this and talk about, I hid in my life for too long. Fuck it. Let's get it out there. And I would rather someone say something, quote, offensive and ask me an honest question than live this little eggshell fucking life. I don't want that. So thank you very much for your question, Robert. You said, That I'm concerned that there isn't a finish point to your transition. It seems like in America you become a transgender, not a woman. That's very... I feel that. What I'll say... I'm not going to... When I look at this as I'm going to try to be a woman, that's usually the first step into me feeling bad about myself, because I'm not a cis woman. I'm a trans woman. I lived as a guy for 33 years. If I live as a woman for as often as I've lived as a guy, I'm going to be 66. That's what it is. And I don't think there is a finish point. I don't think there should be, because the goal of this is to become more me. The goal of this all is to become more Fifi. Now, my gender is a part of that, but my gender serves me, kind of like how my act serves me and my comedic spirit, not the other way around. My gender serves me, not the other way around. If I just try to be like a woman in a box and blend in, and like women do X, women do Y, women do Z, there's just always going to be something. There's always going to be something. And I can't be like, oh, I'll be fine. I can't have an end point. I have things I want to do, but I can't be like, this will be done then, because I will keep extending it, and I'll keep extending it, and I'll continue to be miserable. All I want to do is be more me. I want to have a feminine body, so I take estrogen every day. I want to grow my hair, so I am. Depending on how much I luck out with hormones, I might want to do things to my body, because I believe those things make me more myself, not more a woman. So, yeah, I think I understand what you're saying. I don't think there'll ever be a point where I am like, now I am a woman because I checked off the following boxes. I think that's a losing strategy for me. What I look at it is, like you said, one day at a time. I'm going to do things for myself to make me more me. And I think I like to look at goals as like, not so much as destinations, but like compass directions. Because it's not like I am here, now I am there, now I am good. It's more like I am going that way with my life. So, anyway. So, alright, you know what? I think that's good. I like keeping these fairly brief, because I like leaving you wanting more. So that's what I'm going to do. Thank you so much for your questions. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. If you would want to subscribe on Apple or YouTube or however you watch this, and if you'd want to share it around, I would really appreciate that, because I love what I'm doing here, and I think it's very valuable to me, and I believe it could be valuable to other people too, and I want to share myself with all of you. So I love you guys. Thanks so much. Bye.